All right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the next episode of the FAE News Network. I am here tonight with Count Morbid and Ion the Leprechaun. Count Morbid can only stay with us for a little bit this evening. We sort of have a topsy-turvy evening where we're going to do things a little bit out of order from normal. So I expect that
We're experimenting.
Famous Dana and Lumina O'Wisp should be joining us after 8 o'clock. And Gunther may or may not make it due to a mishap over the weekend. Sort of a mishap. Uh, I guess in a good way. No, it definitely was not your fault. That is true.
Nope.
So, I would like to first say thank you to last week's artist interviewer, which is the Hidden Folk Studios, and we are going to start tonight off with the drawing for from last week's giveaway, and then also we're expecting as well to have our new artist, which is Heart Song Arts Pottery, although I'm not sure if they're going to be here now since they confirmed last night, but I haven't heard from them yet today. I guess if they show up at their designated time, then we will see them in person. If not, then we will go forward with their information as they have sent it to me. So, if you all recall the giveaway for this.
I do that
yes?
Firebird, right?
Yes, it is the Firebird, and I want to try to find. Ooh, I have a kitten biting at my feet.
Laying chicken.
Hey, what did you do this weekend, Count Morbid? Anyway, since you weren't with us, what did you do?
I'm having a hard time remembering what day of the week it is and what I was doing on the weekend. So this is the busy season for me because Halloween has started.
Your favorite season?
Yes, and it starts a little earlier for me than some people. But last Saturday I was meeting with a bunch of people for orientation to scare random people. For a haunt that I frequent. So we were learning how to terrify people because it cheers us up.
And okay, so I'm curious. Lesson number 1 of terrifying people. Go.
Don't say boo. Zombies don't talk. Don't say get out because we want them to be in there. So we want to invite them in so that they can't get out.
Get out.
A surprising amount of the job is traffic control. Like, don't wander into that wall. It's a wall. You want to go that way.
But why can't you just let them figure out that it's a wall on their own?
That happens as well. When we're bored. But an awful lot of work goes into scaring people behind the scenes because there's all kinds of decorating and building and costuming and makeup to make me look even prettier. And I might this Halloween season lose my hair again.
Oh dear. Are you going to have this? Yes?
I was going to say because somebody messaged me who's watching, the artist formerly known as Countess Poppet wanted to remind me that I have an apprentice now that I will be training to be scary in morbid lessons. Her evil little spawn.
No more pirating.
Well, we will occasionally do pirating, but I basically am hoping to teach him a wide range of rogue and scoundrel skills, including piracy and including how to be a scary monster. Speaking of which, though, what day is this? Thursday? No,
it is Wednesday.
Tomorrow, September 19th, will be Talk Like a Pirate Day. Since you brought up piracy, and that's when I filmed that last video. Tomorrow will be Talk Like a Pirate Day, and basically, Countess Poppet, small child, took me prisoner, and in exchange for my release, I have agreed to train him to be scary and a scoundrel.
So, not being a pirate myself, perhaps since you are familiar with the training in piracy, you might suggest at least one way to talk like a pirate tomorrow for our audience.
Oh, good Lord. I actually had a link of terms somewhere and I've completely forgotten. But first off, Google is wonderful that. But avast, I believe, is to pay attention.
Avast!
Avast.
I'm going to use that one on you all the time. Avast!
How about mateys for friends?
Prepare to be boarded.
I will not use prepare to be boarded.
That, you know what? That's a good call.
Why do they want them to be prepared?
Blood and treasure. I think I'll have to post links later for pirate terms.
Hey!
My
Oh my
brain's very
gosh!
tired.
The kitten actually stole my fox fur from behind me and is now wrestling it to the ground in front of me. She really thinks she has caught a fox. If only you could see what I'm looking at. It's quite hilarious, but she's destroying my stole. And I can't get up to get it because I'm here.
She stole your stole?
Yes.
It's been stolen.
Kind of walked into that. By the way, I was going to say, I'm actually going to look real quick and see if I can send a link in our private chat for pirate terms in case we didn't have enough articles and you wanted to go through them later.
Well, you can feel free to do so, though I do have several queued up. I hope they're fun and exciting. The interesting thing about it being closing in on Halloween time is that there are an enormous amount of weird news articles out there, and I feel like since I'm seeing so many of them, the bar for what qualifies as weird is higher somehow than it is the rest of the year. So I don't know if that means I've chosen anything well, but I do have a bunch of them picked out.
Yes.
So I have. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was agreeing with you that there's likely to be many more articles now of weirdness.
It is true, and so I want to go ahead and do the drawing. I found a picture, so I'm going to do a little screen share here.
Ooh, nice.
Yes, let's see. And let's share the screen. Chrome tab. Should be this one. Okay, so here is the Firebird chick that was from Hidden Folk Studios, and I've put everybody into our wheel of fortune, turn, turn, turn. And so it was handmade, and I'm super excited. He's going to fly away. It is going to fly away to its forever nest home. And we'll close this. Okay. Let's see.
Wheel of decision.
Yes, I'm now going to go to the wheel. So just as a reminder how this works, if you are one of our Patreon subscribers, family members there, you are automatically entered into every single drawing that we do, and you only have to be signed up at the minimum $1 level, but every single member gets a free entry. And then if you commented and or shared, you were able to get extra entries. So some people's names are on the wheel twice. And where's my wheel? Okay, here is the wheel. And are you guys ready?
I'm ready.
3, 2, 1.
Spin it.
Wheel!
No whammies. No whammies.
I always get so excited watching it go around. I love doing this, actually. Who is it going to be? Oh. Mayana and Nightshade, congratulations. You are the winners. And you have until the end of the day, Friday, to claim your prize. Just contact us and let us know. There's a bajillion links in the low bar that you can click on: Instagram, Facebook, Patreon, YouTube, all over the place. So congratulations on your win. That is, I can't wait for the next one as well. So cute. I wish I could have entered this one myself, but
We're probably always going to think that.
Well, I sort of think that about tonight's as well, because tonight's is extra cool. And I don't see our interviewee here. So I guess I'm thinking that I'm just going to go ahead with tonight's item for entry. Oh my gosh. I am so sad about my fox fur on the floor. I mean,
given the relative sizes of foxes and kittens.
She really thinks she has caught a fox fur. Can you bring that back up here, cutie? No. Part of my concern, though, is that she's going, because she kind of shreds all of its fox fur off it, and so part of my concern is that she's going to get a mouthful of fox fur and swallow it, and I don't know that that will be so great for her.
Worse,
okay.
She'll develop a taste for it, and she'll start prowling the countryside looking for foxes.
That might actually already be a thing. What?
I thought I saw a fox. That's a cartoon reference.
I thought it was. Yes, so one of the things that we did this weekend was we did 2 really fun things this weekend, and you missed out, Count Morbid, and I'm sorry that you weren't there. Why are you always such a humbug?
It's my brand, darling.
We're going to crash your haunt. You know that, right? We are going to come to your haunt when you are there. That's what's going to happen.
That's
haunt for shenanigans.
It is. It's going to be a perfect time for shenanigans.
Yes. What happens in the haunt stays in the haunt.
Princess Lolly in the operating room with a chainsaw.
Good. Actually, I think we have one of those.
An operating room or
a chainsaw.
Or both.
By the way, real quick, since it turns out apparently he's watching and normally I'm at their place. Hello, Nanner. Nanner is the apprentice.
Hello, Nanner.
Hey, Nanner.
We will all. Okay, so I guess that, I don't know. I feel like I should wait until 8 o'clock just in case they didn't know they were supposed to come a little bit early today.
Yes, because unfortunately, well, yes, I was going to say I know that schedules have been thrown off partly because we're all doing a billion different things.
Yes, well, one of the things that we went and did this weekend was we went first to the City of Roses. It was Famous Dina, Gunther Hammerhands, and Ion, the Leprechaun, and myself. And we all went to the City of Roses and saw the smallest park in the world, which is a Leprechaun Park.
It is.
And it's even in the Guinness Book of World Records. And that was pretty cool. There was a virtual geocache there, and that's the first time that we have ever done a virtual geocache. So I didn't quite know how it worked, but the way that, now that I've done it, I know how it works, is that we had to go to the park and then also to a nearby place where there was information, and we had to find the answers to questions that the geocache, the person who made the geocache, they were asking questions like, who is the head leprechaun in the park? And when was it?
Answer me these riddles 3. Yeah.
Yeah. Air the other side, you see. Yes. So Gunther actually found the answer to the second question. And I think Ion found the answer to the first question. And so I have to actually send them to, so I have to email them in so that we can count, we can log the geocache. But we did find it, and we left a tiny little leprechaun hat in the park. And I didn't have time to do it today because I just got back home very late last night. So I didn't have time to make the video today, but hopefully I started it. So hopefully I will have it done tomorrow, our adventure on that little quest. And then from there, we went,
Oh, quick question
hello.
about the Leprechaun Park.
Yeah.
Does it come with a beer garden?
Nearby.
That seems like something leprechauns would put in a park. Is a garden made of beer?
There's a nearby.
Interestingly, there were two of them nearby.
If there was a beer garden inside, you'd have to be a bit weak.
The beer at the end of the rainbow. Yeah.
Well, when we were there, it was during some kind of a food and drink festival. Do you remember the name of it, Ion?
I believe it was called Feast.
That's it. I think you're right. But it was some kind of a food festival. And so right across the street was a beer garden, but the tickets for that were something outrageous to get into the whole festival. How much were they? Like $30 or $40?
It was $90.
Oh, wasn't? Holy smokes. Phew. So it was a lot. But there was also an Irish restaurant right there on the corner by it. And what was the name of that restaurant? O'Doul's? I don't know.
I don't know.
O'Donnell's?
I forgot.
I
have a picture of it.
What the hell?
No, wait. Just like this, we can just see your silhouette, and it's sort of like you're that creepy guy in all horror movies that pops up in the back seat.
I did not know that light bulbs will turn off if they get too hot. Holy crap.
Maybe it's just
or
maybe it's just because you've been sitting in your car too long with it on.
Maybe.
And so your car automatically turned it off. You have a very sophisticated land dragon.
Apparently. By the way, I was going to say, I think Oktoberfest might be happening now because for some reason the Germans put Oktoberfest in September.
But it's only mid-September.
You're mid-September.
Your face is mid-September.
Oh, mid-September, your couch.
I don't know what that means, but no. You are not allowed to do so. I forbid you. No, so after that, we went to the Troll Bridge, and this is where the troubles began. For at the Troll Bridge is a colony of trolls. Do you want to tell the story, Ion, of what happened and why Gunther is not here with us right now?
Okay. So in this vast colony of trolls of various sizes and shapes living under a bridge, there was they were ruled ruthlessly by Canute the Cruel. This naturally rubbed Gunther the wrong way, as he
because Gunther is a mountain troll.
Right, Gunther is a mountain troll. And he still didn't want to see his brethren, somewhat distant, being treated in such a way. So he naturally challenged Canute to a duel. Canute's club was mighty heavy and smashed him in the face. That looked bad.
Yes. In defense of all his small bridge trolls, that the little colony that has been growing under the bridge, there was a mighty battle and a clash between the mountain troll and their bridge troll overlord or What did you say he was called? Canute.
Canute
Canute the Cruel. Yes. And so, as a result, there was a great firefight.
There was a
Did I do that right?
There was a mighty battle.
Yes, there was a mighty battle.
They were both fighting left-handed.
All the little smiling faces were quite bright once he defeated Canute and drove him
That
away.
is true, but he did take some battle wounds as a result, and so today Gunther has been at the Tooth Fairy to get some of his battle wounds worked upon, and that is why he is not with us now. He might be able to appear a little bit later, but my understanding is that he has left the Tooth Fairies and he is some under sedation.
Is he going to put one of his tusks under the pillow for the Tooth Fairy?
I don't think so. I mean, it's not a tooth. His horns?
Yes.
His horns aren't teeth. Why would he?
Tusk. Like a walrus. Tusk is another name for tooth.
He doesn't have a tusk.
Oh.
Ow the Orc has a tusk.
That's right.
Gunther does not have tusks.
Maybe that's
Besides, I think that the Tooth Fairy may have got to collect one or two of them anyway today. So they might not have been under a pillow. What does a mountain troll even use for a pillow? A rock?
I'm guessing rock.
Ever so comfortable rocks.
Or sheep.
They're soft and squishy to them.
Sheep. Do sheep live on mountains? How about mountain goats?
Yes.
Goats live on mountains.
Goats.
Let's see. What do we have here? Nanner's talons have been freshly clipped, and he has been bathed in the blood of his enemies, as directed by his Uncle Morbid. So if you're doing that, does that mean he will stay young forever? Is that what you really want, Count Morbid?
No. But the problem is his parents keep feeding him, and he keeps getting bigger.
Are you trying to reverse this process?
Maybe? I don't know. He can already take me in a fight. Well, by the way, speaking of, you have a video you're working on, and I'm also working on the video of the mighty battle where the wily Nanner captured me and extorted me for a deal.
Who did he extort you to? Wait, he extorted you?
No. He extorted me. He took me prisoner and wouldn't release me unless I agreed to his terms.
Oh. Well, it sounds like you're doing a great job of training him so far.
Yes.
I mean, we will say, though, that I'm not terribly surprised that he can take you already because you are kind of a delicate flower.
I have to get by mostly on my looks. By the way, I'm afraid I'm also... Oh.
You're what?
I was going to say, I may be leaving soon because, again, I've got to... I think I need to work on the blood spatter in a little while.
Yes, the artistic rendition of blood spatter. That's not creepy at all.
No. Well, there's an art to it. There's flickering lights to maintain. There's cobwebs and body parts to fling around. Haunting is a lot of work.
Oh, now I have a tired kitty behind me. I think she's deflated. So, when does your haunt open?
Friday.
This Friday. Is it open next weekend? No, wait, no.
Yes,
not this weekend.
Yes.
The first weekend of October is what I'm trying to say. Is it open then?
Yes. Yes. I will send out a schedule later. And I think I also need to. Yeah, I need to see what I can do about things. Sorry, I'm tired in my brain, but yeah. We open earlier than most haunts, so we'll be open Friday and Saturday this weekend, Friday, Saturday next weekend. But it gradually, the hours and the days increase shockingly as we get closer to Halloween.
Is there a price tag on your haunt? What is the name of your haunt? Tell us.
Fear PDX or fearpdx.com. And I will. There is a price. But
there's always a price when you deal with the dead.
Yes. But so I would recommend going to the website, but also I'll talk to you later and see. I'm going to see if I can do things to
with blood spatter.
With blood spatter, well, as well as other things, but I may have to make some of my own FAE bargains. But yeah, I was.
What are you talking about?
I'll just. There are things not meant for mortal ears that I'll discuss with you later.
Now my curiosity is.
Yes, I know. This is how to torture a lolly. But yes, I need to get back to the grindstone, which may actually be an actual grindstone. I
want pictures if that's the case. Pictures of that didn't happen.
Yes. Right?
Yes. I was hoping to last until Will the Wisp or Famous Dana could make it, but I have. Yes,
You must go do your thing. Yes. Well, I think that Famous Dana should be here shortly. She was hoping to tune in around 8:00, and then also Lumina. So they should be on their way with any luck. And for now, I am happy to let you go and take a look at what we actually have for this week's giveaway. So, alas, what?
As you will.
Oh, we are going to shenanigans the heck out of him. That is going to be a thing. I am going to schedule it, and we are going down to the City of Roses, and we're doing it.
Sounds like a plan.
Oh, man. I think I've only ever done that once before. I'm really excited to do this. I don't know what we should do, though. Should we plan something? Okay.
Yes.
I said we were going to look at what we have for this week's giveaway. So let me find my screen and share it. Now, this is from Heart Song Arts Pottery, and the link to them is in the low bar. They were a merchant in our fairy market at Fairyblossom Festival this year. Oh, yeah. And yes, and so they will, they went ahead and unfortunately, I don't know where they're at, so we can't really ask them any questions, but they did send me pictures of the 2 items that they are submitting for a giveaway tonight. And so I figured we could go ahead and look at their store and look at these items. And they had some really amazing stuff, and so I'm excited. Let's do this. Let's take a look. Okay. So this is their handmade pottery, as you can see, bowls and cups, tumblers, steins. I think we call these big ones steins. So these
all sorts. Yep.
Yeah, I think that if I recall correctly, my favorite ones from the festival were these cool woodland-looking ones. Oh, did it enlarge that?
It didn't.
I'm sorry, what?
It did not enlarge that.
Oh, it didn't. Okay. Boo, hiss.
Oh, it's in a different tab.
Maybe yep, it did. It opened it in a different tab. So in order to enlarge it, I would have to go there. I like these beautiful bowls too.
Oh yeah, with the irregular sides and the foresty looking images in the bottom.
Yes, and oh, this is cool because this one here these are ginkgo leaves. I can tell by looking at them, which I think the ginkgo tree is very cool. I kind of want a ginkgo wood magic wand. because a ginkgo tree it's an urban tree. It's one of the few trees that actually thrives in urban areas. And it's also one of the oldest living, it's a prehistoric tree that's still here and alive and not dead and fossilized, or like
Yeah,
the ancient cow tree.
it's the most ancient extant species of tree we have.
Yes. It has this interesting quality called air roots, is what they call them. And they are these long dangly things that come down off of the branches, which
Oh, okay.
I guess that now they don't serve any particular purpose as far as science knows for the tree. Botany, I guess, maybe, is that what you would call? I don't know.
Botany is that plant science. Yep.
This one is cool, this fern. But I guess that in years past, they were thought to be roots that collected nutrients from the air above ground in order to feed the tree.
Oh, like
So
maybe water and stuff like that from dew.
maybe, I don't know.
I kind of like that blue cup there on the bottom left.
This watercolor tumbler,
Yeah, that looks really cool.
it does look cool. I like the shape of it. That's one of my favorite shapes, actually, because it goes just perfect in your hand when you grab onto it. I'm going to. Oh,
They have lots
I'm
of
going to.
lovely things, and they seem to have a very nature theme, which is really quite nice. I like it.
Yes. So the ones that they have submitted, there are 2 of them, and so I have to share them one at a time. But for this week, we will, or the next 2 weeks, I guess, we will have a drawing for, let's see, for both. Well, we'll be drawing 2 people's names, and they will be, here's number 1. So I really like this one. This is a handmade woodland tumbler or mug, and I think this one is super cool because it's sort of like the tree looking ones that I liked in the store too. That we were just looking at.
Right. Only worry, you drop it in the woods, it's gone. You'll never.
Because it blends in with everything. You'll never see it again. It's camouflaged.
Small price to pay.
Okay. And number 2, let's see, where is it? Here. Is right here. Now, I don't have a size comparison for this bowl, so I'm not entirely sure how big it is, but this bowl is the second item. And so, as always, if you want to be entered to win either of these amazing items from Heart Song Arts Pottery, which you can visit, you can see all of their links. They're in the low bar. If you want to be entered to win these, you must put the magic word into the YouTube comments of this live stream. And the magic word for this evening, I think, will be ginkgo.
Ginkgo. I'm in.
Yes. Okay. That seems like an appropriate magic word since we were just talking about it.
And that's down in the comments section that's below rather than the chat session if you happen to be here right now. So.
Correct. And remember, if you are a member of our Patreon, then you automatically get an entry, at least one entry, no matter what. So
they can get more if they comment in Ginkgo and put Ginkgo in the comments.
I'm sorry, what? Huh?
They can get more entries if they comment in the comment with the password.
With the magic word.
The magic word. Yes.
Yes. Sorry, I have a kitten right here, and she's making weird sleeping noises, like she's having some kind of kitten dream. So.
Right. Of hunting foxes, I'm sure.
Yes, I feel so lonely tonight without anybody here. Morbid had to go do blood spatter, and Gunther is recuperating from his trip to the Tooth Fairy after his fight with Canute the
Cruel.
Cruel. I keep thinking terrible. It's like and
Must have been a fan of
Lumina,
alliteration.
yes, Lumina and Famous Dana haven't shown up. I'm so sad.
I'm sure they'll come.
Well, what would you prefer to do next? Articles or ghost towns?
Let's do an article.
Let's do an article. We'll do one article and then go over our list of events.
Yep, that sounds like a plan.
Okay. Ooh. I kind of want to do this one because it looks interesting. If you are out there in the audience, I'll give you a choice. We either do Skull, the 1100-year-old Viking beer hall unearthed in Scotland. If you want that one, press number 1. Or we do There's a lost continent hiding beneath Europe. And if you want to hear that one, press number 2. Number 1 is for the 1100-year-old Viking beer hall, press 1. And for the lost continent, press 2. I will wait for just...
On an interesting, similar lost continent note, there was some academic research done to try to hypothesize that the Atlantis that Socrates referred to is actually Ireland.
Hold on. Socrates was not the first person. Solon was the first person to refer to Atlantis in ancient Egypt, long before Socrates.
Sure, but the description that leads people to think it might be Ireland is Socrates' description.
Which came from...
Yes, that's true. Just saying.
I'm just saying Solon is the person that you should give the credit to, not Socrates.
Sure.
So where did you hear about this? Because that's and why Ireland? That sounds cool. I want to hear. Tell me more.
It has to do with physical descriptions of dimensions and cliffs. I have to remember. I don't remember the book I read that in. But it was one of those.
I mean, how old is this information of yours?
When was this hypothesized? Or when I don't remember when the book was published, but it is a relatively recent hypothesis.
Yes,
in the past century.
We have a vote for number 1. That's for the Viking beer hall.
All right, let's do it.
All right. I mean, it sounds like it's kind of old because I thought that one of the descriptions was beyond the Strait of Gibraltar, or
right,
the gates of Gibraltar, where they think that the Colossus once stood.
Right.
I mean, is that on the way to Ireland?
If you're going by boat from Greece, you certainly have to go that way.
Well, how else would you go under the legs of the Colossus except for by boat? I mean, I'm just gonna rope myself a Loch Ness monster and sail on through. I'll go like Aquaman with 2 dolphins. Yes.
I mean, it's much more like, Socrates was using them as a contrast to the Athenian people, and how they weren't very good. The Atlanteans weren't very good people, and Greece was superior as a result.
Hold on now. The Atlantis, the race of superior technologically and in other ways beings. Socrates is dissing on them, saying that his own race.
So they were violent,
superior,
violent and imperialistic. They sought to conquer. They were troubled by not having prearranged arrangements for how land would be divided amongst heirs.
Only
So
according to Socrates. Nobody else, like no other accounts, just Socrates. So
right,
hold on.
But
I mean, I think
every
it has a
account of
vested
Atlantis since Socrates has been Socrates' version.
But I feel like Socrates has a vested interest in bagging on the other guys because
Right, because he was trying to explain why Athens was best. Well, Pluto.
So I don't really think that his opinion is all that objective.
It
And according to other scholars, the Athenians were supposed to be a great race of people, not war riddled.
In the Atlanteans.
Yes, the Atlanteans. I'm sorry. We're supposed to be a great race. Using all kinds of high technology that we have long since lost.
So that's one of the evidences because and amongst that time, the Celts in Ireland were inventing steel and sharing it with the world.
All right, here we go. We're going to look at this Viking Hall.
Ooh, nice.
Now I'm super sad that Gunther isn't here. So this one was submitted by Emily on our submission form where you can put gossip and speaking of gossip, I've got some where you can put gossip and links to cool articles.
Is this the same Emily that voted for this article?
I don't know. There was no last name.
Gotcha.
All right, here we go. Skull, 1100-year-old Viking beer hall unearthed in Scotland. If you've ever taken a stroll down to your local bar to knock back a pint or six, that sounds very Scottish. A pint or six. That's a lot. That's a lot of beer. I probably could drink one pint. After a long day at work, you probably recognize this relaxing traditional. This relaxing traditional? Should that say tradition? Okay. To be something so cathartic, so innately primal, that it couldn't have solely been a modern creation. This isn't a concept that crept into our genes in the last 100 years or so. No. This tradition of slugging back suds dates back to farther than our minds could process, especially minds with 3 or 4 IPAs clogging up their cognitive receptors. And now we have proof. A new 1100-year-old discovery in Scotland. What is this link? I mean, is it just a link to what I'm already looking at?
I don't know.
Unearthed that high-ranking elite Vikings had their own beer hall of choice. With the revelation of this historical site, we are just now beginning to learn about what archaeologists have found and what clues from inside the old-time tap room might tell us about their daily living and drinking habits. Fight or flights. In my younger... Is this the part of the article where we go on for pages and pages, like those recipe articles where you read 3 pages of somebody's cute family story and then the recipe is way, way, way at the end? In my younger days, back in my younger days, much more physically equipped days, I made a living. If you could call whatever they slipped me under the table at the end of the night as a living, working as a bouncer in various bars, nightclubs, and comedy clubs up and down the east and west coasts. The way I say that I realize it comes across sounding akin to Patrick Swayze's character Dalton from the movie Roadhouse. A tough as nails badass working my keep, being brought in to clean up the ills of whatever saloon needed my expertise. But in actuality, I was young and foolhardy and unable to keep down a job, which led me to move frequently to places where they didn't bother to check references. Handling drunkards was the name of the game. Although 90% of the customers were polite and just looking to have fun and take whatever the 2007 version of the selfie was, with their friends. We could just skip that. Oh, wow. Whew. These people get verbose. Let's see.
They're probably paid by the word.
I don't even know. Let's see. I'm just gonna skip past all this right to hut, Vike. I can hear my voice echoing in my happy drum. As we know from history as well as folklore, the Viking men loved their ships, their women, and their mead. Did they call it mead? I know that's what they call it in medieval times, and that place is Cannon. Oh,
Medieval times.
medieval times in Las Vegas is Cannon.
Well, there's also one in Dallas and in Lyndhurst, New Jersey, and someplace else, I'm sure.
I feel like I might know a knight or two that is a jouster that would disagree with medieval times being the canon on what medieval things or prior to that were called. I mean,
sure.
Just saying. Oh boy. Okay, let's see. Here we go. So the idea of a Viking beer hall creates some pretty powerful mental imagery, and this was no normal Viking beer hall. This beer hall was for the elites. The worst part of working in bars is hands down the patrons, said Paul Palmieri, a bartender in Los Angeles. Honestly, a Viking beer hall sounds pretty chill. I imagine it'd be more of a pitchers and wings crowd instead of the can I get something fun, not too sweet, maybe a little lemony, but make it red requests, which I'm currently dealing with. Pitchers and wings.
Are they trying to say it's the Viking equivalent of like tea and brandy rather than?
As long as they drink, pinky out. I feel like this whole pitchers and wings things. I think maybe they have the wrong Vikings in mind. We're not talking about the football team, right? So, I mean, we're talking about actual Vikings, right? When we talk about, I don't know, they just make it sound so sports-like. I mean,
well,
anyway. Well, what?
Yeah, it does seem very sports. They make it sound very sports-like. Yeah.
I would not want to bartend at a Viking beer hall, at least one for the elites, was how Seattle-based bartender Carmen Rose Becerra took the story. I'm sure a normal Viking beer hall would be manageable, but elites tend to lean on the self-entitled side. I prefer to work at a dive bar for a reason. This classy, for the era, watering hole is said to possibly have been the home base of Norse chief Earl Sigurd and his high-ranking shipmates when they'd return home from doing their pillaging. I didn't know that Vikings were from Scotland.
Well, so there are lots of settlements that occurred throughout the British Isles.
Oh, okay.
So there's a mix of like 7 different cultures that live there.
I think the Viking Hall a-holes would have steins of their enemies' skulls behind the bar that you'd have to fill for them. And they would expect cutsies in line, Becerra commented, likely accurately. I guess that she doesn't like the elites because they would want cutsies in line, and you would have to fill the skull of their enemies drinking stein for them. I don't understand why that's a problem. What difference does it make to you if you have to fill the Vikings enemy skull stein or the regular stein? You still have to fill it, right?
there might be less violence if people started doing more drinking out of their enemies' skulls.
I'm not sure how you come to that conclusion, because in order to get your enemy's skulls, you basically have to perpetrate violence.
Yeah, but if you don't want to have your head drunk out of, then you're gonna have to not be as violent, right?
No,
You'd have to be nicer to one another to avoid it.
that logic doesn't work. Not on the premise that that's what will avoid you getting your skull cracked in.
Well, if you don't have enemies, who's going to drink out of your skull?
It's not about whether or not you have enemies. It's about whether or not somebody else wants your skull for a cup, regardless of whether or not you're enemies. I mean, they may just decide that they don't like your shoes because they are super into their cups of mead. And now you're going to be, they need to upgrade to something bigger. And that's going to be you. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Let's do it like they do on the Discovery Channel. Okay, the discovery was made by a team of archaeologists from the University of the Highlands and Islands Archaeology, who, along with the Orkney area villagers and other students looking to fill their general ed requirements, have been digging in and around this particular site for years. The team had originally been digging with the purpose of doing extended research on the farm site that rested above where they found the 1100-year-old tavern. Their initial purpose was to learn about the past diets, farming, and fishing techniques via giant piles of uncovered waste called middens. It's sort of cool how it looks, how it's got all the earth on top. It sort of looks like it just rose out of the earth.
Like it's just part of the hill.
I don't understand, though, how that isn't so heavy that it doesn't cave it in.
Well, I imagine it wouldn't be necessarily heavy because grass grows in quite shallow dirt, and so the layer of sod would hold it together. So if you have nothing else to make the roof out of, you just have these slats that are kind of spaced apart and they can't keep rain out. What are you going to use to keep rain out?
But how does it not get so heavy that it doesn't collapse the
So the grass holds together.
What?
So grass holds dirt together because its roots spread out.
Interesting. Okay, let's see.
So it's like you buy if someone were, they could buy bits of grass, which are just rolled up tiles of grass.
I think I get it.
Okay.
So after getting their fill of digging through millennia-old waste, the team kept digging and sometime later came upon a pair of stone benches, which led to them uncovering what is left of the entire hall. Ooh. The farmland, which they are playfully coining the Egypt of the North, is right along the coast, and the farm's name, Scale, actually translates into hall, giving more credibility to what they believed this newly found venue to be. You never know, but perhaps Earl Sigurd himself sat on one of the stone benches inside the hall and drank a flagon of ale. The presumed hall points toward the sea, allowing for easy access for those who really needed to take a load off after busy weekends on the rough waters, their only respite coming when storming neighbors' shores. We have recovered millennia of middens, which allow us unparalleled opportunity to look at changing dietary traditions, farming and fishing practices from the Norse period up until the 19th century, said research project co-director Dr. Ingrid Mainland. Ironically writing that while stationed on the island. So while unearthing the beer hall is pretty cool, they are more interested in what took place in the hall outside of simply pounding of brewskis. The team of archaeologists also say they have found more day-to-day items like a comb made of bone. I like how they're all surprised of it. Made of freaking bone! Yes, that's how so many things were made. That isn't even surprising. pottery and something called a bone spindle whorl. After which, some quick Google searching, I'm pretty sure was just a 1,000-year-old fidget spinner. Actually, it sounds like a drop spindle for spinning wool into yarn. That's what that sounds like to me.
Probably what it is, yeah.
But if the idea of spending an afternoon gallivanting with the elite in 1000 AD Viking bear hall sounds romantic to you, think again. These were men just coming off their mildew-stained boats where for the last stretch of time they were committing unspeakable acts and then coming home, clothes soaked by the waves and drenching their unkempt beards in the hoppy brew. At the end of the night, bars smell horrible. Just a musky combination of regret, pheromones, peanut shells, and spilled beer. Let's see. Pretty sure they got, let's see, blah, 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 blah. Man, so negative. I mean, what do you expect? People are having a good time sloshing beer around. Of course it smells terrible at the end of the night. It's all over the floor and whatnot.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not sure the smell would be much better if they stayed home. It's not like...
I agree. I think that really what they should do is jump off their boats into the water and then walk to shore, right? A little bit of a bath. I don't know. Their women that they supposedly cared so much about would probably appreciate it.
Probably.
I'm just saying. I mean, what constitutes we care so much about our women? Okay, I am actually going to. We'll look at the next article in a minute because there's actually some really cool ones. So, next article in a second. But right now, these are the upcoming events that I have on the list. So tomorrow, ye mateys, talk like a pirate day. And September 20th is Over Hill and Over Dale. It's a fairy holiday where the Hill Fairies and the Dale Fairies hold leapfrog tournaments. Ye Merry Greenwood and the Ye Merry Greenwood Wen Fair and Autumn Equinox are coming up on September 21st and 22nd in Kennewick, Washington. And we will be there as FAE Productions with the court. And we'll be having a little after-hours soiree in our fairy area. So if you are going to be in that area, please come to Ye Merry Greenwood and stop in and see us.
It'll be a great time.
Then we have what?
It'll be a great time.
Yes. We have Folsom Ren Fair on September 28th and 29th in Folsom, California. We have September 29th, another fairy holiday because fairies love to party, called All Badgers Eve. It is a lovely feast that is held to apologize to any badgers that are still feeling cranky about Badger Scratching Day, which is earlier in the month, I think September 9th. New York Renaissance Fair is through October 6th in Tuxedo, New York. So it's every weekend up until then, and I can definitely vouch for that festival. I believe you can as well, Ion, since we have both been to that one. And we have the Las Vegas Ren Fair, which is coming up on October 12th and 13th, obviously in Las Vegas. I just want to put a special little plug in for this one, as my good friend Penelope Pendragon, the Wish Fairy, will be making an entire, just absolutely growing her enchanted forest there.
Awesome.
And I do plan to go down actually and assist with that come here at the beginning of October. So I'm really looking forward to the Las Vegas Ren Fair and seeing and helping in the new Enchanted Forest, and of course seeing my friend the Wish Fairy. So October 12th and 13th. And then of course we have our Samhain Dumb Supper, which is on November 9th in Ridgefield, Washington. And you can find links to that last one there in the low bar here, where we plan to have a whole Dumb Supper feast and ceremony, as well as some interesting FAE politics going on there. So those are the upcoming events that I have. Shortlist tonight.
It's still
yes.
very easy.
Should we choose between should we choose between the next two articles?
Oh yeah. What are the options?
Okay, let me see what we've got here. I'm gonna move. Let's go back with the other one. So the lost continent hiding beneath Europe. If you want the lost continent, press number 1. And if you want to hear about Salem unveils the world's largest Ouija board this October. So the lost continent, number 1, world's largest Ouija board, number 2. Put those 1s or 2s into the chat, and I will sing my little song. I will sing the song of my wah, 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 wah.
Why are we
I was
called a
gonna sing the
Ouija
song of
board
my
and it's
people.
spelled like Ouija?
What?
It's spelled like Ouija.
A Ouija board?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what the origin, the etymology of it is. So
the first part looks
if it's
like
Spanish,
yes,
it's not Ouija, it's Ouija.
but the first part looks like it's yes from French, and the second part looks like it's yes from German.
So it's yes, a yes board.
Yes board.
All right. It was 1 for the lost continent and 2 for the yes board. Oh, let's see. Do we have any opinion from our viewers?
Emily votes 1, which is the lost continent. Famous
Emily votes 1.
And Famous Dana votes 1.
Famous Dana's in the crowd? Why is she not in here with us?
I don't know. She just voted.
So we have a 1 and a 1. Okay.
Yeah,
so that's the lost continent, right?
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do. Here we go. Strange human news. There is a lost continent hiding beneath Europe. Greater Adria existed hundreds of millions of years ago after it broke off from the supercontinent Gondwana.
That's a long time ago.
That is a very long time ago. So I guess that this is Greater Adria right here. And there's a lost continent hidden below southern Europe. So is the green part what the current continent? No. Why is it green and gray? I don't know. There's a lost continent hidden below southern Europe, and researchers have created the most detailed reconstruction of it yet. The lost continent, Greater Adria. What?
I like the quick pick and knit. You see, it looks like they're saying that it's below, as in south of Europe, but I don't think south is below.
No, I think that they mean it's underneath where Europe currently is.
But that's not what they
like under the water.
Yeah, but Europe's not in the water.
It says it's below southern Europe. I mean, I guess that.
Yes, but if you look at the map, it looks like it's just south of Europe.
That's Europe? Well, I guess that this is a picture of the old Gondwana. That's what this is. So nothing actually quite looks like the way it is supposed to. Anywho, okay, back to this. Let's see. After it broke from Gondwana, a southern supercontinent made up of Africa, Antarctica, and South America and Australia, and other major land masses, as Science magazine reported. Greater Adria was a large extending from what is now the Alps all the way to Iran, but not all of it was large, but not all of it was above water. That means it was likely a string of islands or archipelagos, said lead author Douwe van Hinsbergen. How do you say that? Douwe? Douwe? Douwe, Douwe, Douwa, Douwe.
Names are hard.
That's not helpful. The chair in global tectonics and paleogeography in the Department of Earth Sciences at Utrecht University in the Netherlands. It would have been a good scuba diving region. Okay. Hinsbergen and his team spent a decade collecting and analyzing rocks that used to be a part of this ancient continent. The mountain belts where these Greater Adrian rocks are found span about 30 different countries. That's a lot, Hinsbergen told Live Science. Every country has their own geological survey and their own maps and their own stories and their own continents. He said, we brought that all together into one big picture. Earth is covered in large tectonic plates. Yes, Greater Adria belonged to the African tectonic plate, but was not a part of the African continent since there was an ocean between them, which was slowly sliding beneath the Eurasian tectonic plate in what is now Southern Europe. Hoo-wee. Oh boy. I want to find something cool. I feel like this is just so much geography. Geology. Thank you. That's what I was looking for.
More of a paleogeology. Okay.
Okay. I'm going on to the Ouija board. I'm done with this one. It's boring me.
We're doing the yes board?
The yes, we're doing the yes board. Okay.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Emily says absolutely no spirit boards. What? Why? What are the other options? Okay, we'll do a vote. Maybe we'll save that one for last. Nope, we'll do a vote. So we can either do the yes board or the ghost detecting stone on Amazon, which turns red if a ghost is nearby.
Okay, I kind of want to do that one.
Okay, your vote is for the ghost detecting stone? Okay, let's just do it. It's probably fast. Let's see.
Because we're talking about going to visit some ghosty things, right? Some haunted places.
Yes, we should all have them and take them to Count Morbid's haunt.
Yeah.
Okay, look.
At least one.
Okay, hold on. Let me find it. Let's see. Ghost detecting stone. Here we go. So, a ghost detecting stone on Amazon turns red if a ghost is nearby. So here's the stone. If you're undertaking a paranormal investigation sometime in the near future, here's something you might consider adding to your ghost hunters. You know what? We should make a ghost hunter toolkit for Gunther. He would love that.
Sounds like a plan.
I mean, he's the ghost hunting experts, and so maybe we should make him an all new toolkit to replace his lost one. I bet he would love that. Okay,
Awesome.
Let's see. This stone allegedly detects the presence of ghosts, and you can get it right on Amazon. The land of Amazon has everything. Made by Japanese company Solid Alliance, the device called Bakutan Raiseki purports to indicate via colorful lights whether there are any supernatural beings surrounding you at any given time. Whether or not it actually works remains to be seen. But regardless, it's a fun little toy to look at as we move into the spookiest of seasons. Okay. We are definitely going to look at this in just a second. I'm going to click the Amazon link and we'll go to it. According to a press release for a recent edition of the Ghost Stone device, published in February of 2019, Solid Alliance's first ghost detector was introduced in Japan in 2005. It apparently became a big hit in the subculture market. I'm surprised it didn't become a big hit in the main culture market. They're super all about ghosts over there. In the country, with lots of ghost reports being sent to the company and media. More than 200,000 of the devices were sold in Japan. You know, that actually doesn't sound like that many. What's the population of Japan?
A bunch.
And ever since then, Solid Alliance has periodically released new editions of their ghost detectors, including the little device we're looking at today. Sora News 24 reports that the name of the device is sort of an elaborate portmanteau. Bokatong comes from obake, represented, by what these, a type of
125
yokai
million.
or monster. What?
125 million.
So 200,000 is not very many in the span of 125 million.
No.
It says it's $28 on Amazon. Okay, we're going to click on it.
Famous Dana is joining us.
She is? Where is she?
I just added her.
Ah, I see. Okay. Oh, yay. Okay, and now you are here and with us. Yay. Okay, I clicked the link.
We're looking at a ghost finding stone.
Yes. Okay. What? No! I'm so upset right now. Here I had this amazing idea. Super excited. This ghost stone. So, do you know where Gunther is, famous Dana?
I do not.
You do not know where he is. Okay.
Am I supposed to know what's going on with Gunther?
Well, he had to go to the Tooth Fairy today, and now the question is, where is he? Is he still at the Tooth Fairy? It's almost 9 p.m. That can't be.
I haven't seen him yet, so I do not know.
So, here we go. Ghost detector, but it says, look at this. Cruel world, currently unavailable.
Oh no.
I've learned that in addition to detecting ghosts, it has the ability to put up a barrier in case bad ghosts arrive.
How did you learn that?
I found this website called Mysterious Universe. I had an article about it.
Dang it. This is so sad that there isn't one here. I really super wanted to get it. $28. I wonder if it tells you how it works. An ultra small ghost detector, find ghosts around you with the special sensor, a real crack crystal ball unit. What does that mean? A real crack crystal ball unit.
I don't know.
Okay, I want to look up. I want to see what other ghost detectors look like, though. Okay. Here is an EMF sensor. We were just saying that we should put together a ghost detecting kit for Gunther. We were thinking that would be something that he would like.
I'm pretty sure he would love a ghost hunting kit.
Well, I don't know if it was last time or the time before we were talking about going ghost hunting.
Mm-hmm.
possibly. And so a real ghost detector. Oh, that's an app for your
So
phone.
we should have this before we actually go find the trail with the witch's like cottage thingy on it, right? So he has those available before we go?
Is that a good idea?
Did he want to go there because he thought that it was haunted?
I
To the
think
witch castle?
I think that's why. I mean, he was very, very insistent about going, even though we didn't have enough time. That was one of the things that I thought that's why he wanted to go. It seems like that's the thing he would do. Because, well, it's
Look at this.
Walter and he likes ghosts.
Instantaneous response to EMF fluctuations and spikes, simple push on, push off operation, easy to read, multi segment LEDs, accuracy of 5% at 50 to 60 hertz. 5%. Can you translate that, Ion? That's some human jargon I'm not sure I get.
So every sensor, every device that we use to measure things has an error bar, and it describes what the value could actually be between. So even when you use a ruler, when you measure something, the actual value of something's length has a value that's somewhere between the two markings that you see. And so
I'm asking, but I don't understand. 5% accuracy. Is it saying that it's only right 5% of the time?
no, that means that it's
Its margin of error is 5%?
that's probably what that means.
Well, that's not what it says. I'm just saying, it's confusing.
So, the fact that it's detecting electromagnetic fields. It's determining what its relative value, probably in terms of microgauss, and then it's determining that value within 5% of the value it says it is. So it's somewhere in there, which is not bad for a non-digital display.
Well, this ghost meter EMF sensor.
And that accuracy is calibrated at some value, so some frequency range. So
I have no idea what that means.
Hertz, megahertz, the
So-
amount of electricity that goes through a thingy.
no,
That's not what I meant. I meant I don't understand what he's saying about the calibration. So it's calibrated at something, but isn't that meaningless if you don't know what it is?
It means they have verified that it reaches that accuracy when the thing they're trying to detect is in a frequency range of that value, of those values. Because
Okay.
you have to
I
say
sort of
that.
understand that.
You have to say that because there's an infinite number of values, and you can't check them all to see if you're accurate at all ranges.
Right.
You would never
So they're
stop.
just saying in that particular range. Got it.
Makes sense.
I wonder what else you would put in a ghost hunting kit.
Probably a digital voice recorder to get the electronic voice phenomena.
That's not a bad idea. Okay. So let's see. Okay, here we go.
Maybe a
Here's our
camera.
next articles. Are you ready? Are you ready to hear the next articles?
Yep. What are our options?
Okay. The options are number 1 for the largest Ouija board in Salem. Number 2 for Mike the Headless Chicken, who lived for 18 months after his beheading. And number 3 for the Edmund Fitzgerald, the shipwreck that never gave up its dead. So 1, 2, or 3. And this will be the last article of the evening. Number 1 is for the largest Ouija board to be unveiled in Salem in October. Number 2 is for Mike the Headless Chicken, who lived for 18 months after. There are so many dead people, ghost-like crazy things going on because of the season, of course. And then number 3 is for the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. I don't know. Do you have any opinions, famous Dana?
Good.
Well, I am already well knowledgeable in the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, and it's one of those amazing stories.
You are?
Well, I'm from Cleveland originally.
I don't know where that's at. That is the Kingdom of Shimmering Waters.
That's a good question.
That is the Kingdom of Shimmering Waters. That one took me a minute. I'm pretty sure that's the kingdom that it's in.
Yes. Cleveland. Anyway, I love the song and I love the story, but because I already know the story, I don't feel like I need to rehash it at all. So I'm curious about why they would name a chicken Mike.
I think that Edmund Fitzgerald is better for November anyway, because that's when it went down, was in November. So I don't know. I feel like that one is too early to explore myself.
All right,
so we have Ouija board and Mike the Headless Chicken.
Let's go with Mike the Headless Chicken.
Mike the Headless Chicken. Are there any comments from the crowd? Number 1 for Salem unveils the largest Ouija board. Number 2 for Mike the Headless Chicken. I'm going to do the final countdown. I do not see any opinions. And so I am going to just go ahead and go with Mike the Headless Chicken. Let me get to Mike. It is kind of weird that they named him Mike. I agree with that.
Seems like a perfectly good name.
But curiosity, yep, that's me.
I mean, I don't know that the article will tell us the answer to this eternal mystery, but it is fascinating, though, that a chicken lived for 18 months after its beheading. Okay, here we go. Miracle Mike, the Headless Chicken, survived the axe and lived for 18 months. Look at the picture of it. Without a head, eventually dying only because he choked on his dinner. How did he eat? Okay, here we go. I'm going to click this. Oh. Okay. You guys can't hear it, can you?
Nope.
Nope.
Oh, nice. I love that. So they cut to a diner showing them with fried chicken. Like, here's what happened to Mike the Headless Chicken after he died. He's nuggets now. That's not right.
All right, I have a hypothesis real fast about why he's named Mike.
Okay, why?
If you get 5 chickens all at once, you might name them after the Jackson 5.
Oh my God. No. Miracle Mike the Headless Chicken, April 1945 to March 1947, was owned by farmer Lloyd Olson of Fruita, Colorado. On September 10th, 1945, Lloyd was sent out to the yard by his wife to get dinner. Lloyd picked the chicken and swung the axe down, chopping its head clean off. I swear I find more typos in these articles. But much to his surprise, the chicken did not die. Without a head, it was still able to balance on a perch and walk clumsily. It even attempted to preen and crow, although it could obviously do neither without a head. Olson decided against finishing off the chicken. He named him Mike and began caring for him, feeding him a mixture of milk and water with an eyedropper. Ew.
Care.
Gross. Its head must have atrophied. That's disgusting. Well, what goes on in a chicken's brain if it can live without its head? That is so gross.
Look at that. That's the neck that it put the dropper of food in. You had to have the right tube, I guess.
how do we know that he wasn't murdered ruthlessly? I mean, they say that he choked on his food, but what if it was purposely put in down the wrong pipe so that he would drown? Let's see.
Wow.
Mike is fed with milk and water from an eyedropper through esophagus, which has not closed over. Mike is also fed small grains of corn, has no trouble digesting them. Whoa. Once he got used to the new and unusual center of mass, Mike could easily get himself to the highest perches without falling. How did he even know where they were? His crowing, though, was less impressive and consisted of a gurgling sound made in his throat.
So that could actually be considered his throat then, because that actually looks like they took a picture of the back end of the chicken instead of the front end of the chicken.
I think that's supposed to be the front end.
He spent his time preening and attempting to peck for food with his neck. Mike began touring with sideshows and was photographed for both Time and Life magazines. He was on display to the public for the admission price of 25 cents. At the height of his popularity, he was earning $4,500 a month at 25 cents a view. Holy cow! That's insane. His success resulted in a wave of copycat chicken beheadings, but no other chicken ever lived more than a day or two. In March 1947, at a motel in Phoenix, while traveling home from tour, Mike started choking in the middle of the night. The Olsons had inadvertently left their feeding and cleaning syringes at the sideshow the day before, and they were unable to save him. Aww. After Mike's death, it was determined that the axe had missed the carotid artery, and a clot had prevented Mike from bleeding to death. Although his head was severed, most of his brainstem and one ear were left on his body, since basic functions like breathing and heart rate, as well as most of the chicken's reflex actions, are controlled by the brainstem. Mike was able to remain quite healthy. Oh my god, that is so weird.
That really is funky looking. Funky chicken. Funky chicken. Funky
Oh
chicken.
my god. That kind of, if I have nightmares about this.
What's interesting is that it was able to learn. Like not only it had to figure out its new center of gravity, which meant that it had to learn how to walk, but it didn't have to learn how to walk every time, just the first time. So it was able to learn, but had no head.
Yeah, I do think that that's weird. I wonder.
Do chickens have, like, there's a, when I was a bit wee, I went to a place that had dinosaurs, and they told me that dinosaurs had extra brains in the back.
In the back of what?
Of their bodies, to control their bodies. They had separate brains.
What?
And I'm wondering if chickens have a separate brain near their backside, given that theropod dinosaurs and chickens are related.
Oh my gosh. If I have nightmares about this.
Are we all going to be running around with our heads cut off in your nightmares?
I don't know. It is 9 o'clock though, and that leads us around to the end, unless you guys want to look at the world's largest Ouija board unveiling, or if we can end on Mike the Headless Chicken, which I sort of think we should end on Mike the Headless Chicken.
Let's end on Mike the Headless Chicken.
All right. So I'm just going to say then, I'm going to close this and say one more time, we have some awesome handmade bowls from Heart Song Pottery. And it's a handmade bowl is for one prize, and a stein for a woodland stein for another prize. Both of these are handmade by a Fairyblossom Festival merchant. If you are on our Patreon, you will get an automatic entry. And if you want extra entries, then you have to put the magic word, which is ginkgo, into the comments of this live stream, not the chat on the side, but the comments below the low bar, and you will get extra entries. And I think that kind of wraps everything up. This weekend, we are going to be out at Ye Merry Greenwood with the FAE crew. So if you are there, come and see us. And of course, if you want to know what we're doing and where we're going to be, you can always join our Facebook group, and we post our shenanigans and other such things that we are doing there. So I guess that is it. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
I mean, not literally goodbye, everybody, but you know what I mean. Okay. Good night, everybody. Have a good one. And we will see you in 2 weeks when we do the next drawing. Have a good one.
Yay.